Hello, my name's Aaron. I'm a drummer and a producer. I'm here in my little studio production room. It's like really dead basic setup. Couple of HS8s, Ableton Push, Focusrite interface, some little bits of percussion, basic Rode mic up here, and yeah, I'm gonna show you some ways that I get out of a creative block. Yeah, so today we're going to be focusing on making drum loops, but we're going to sample from a record, and we're not actually going to take drums from this record, but we're going to use it as kind of like a template for a groove. So I've picked a track off of this Donny Hathaway live album, and the tune is Little Ghetto Boy. It's the first track on this album. And yeah, I like using stuff like this because the live versions or albums, you always get different variations and cool little bits that you can take, and you get like crowd noise and all that sort of stuff. On this track, there is like an intro that is chords are changing on the one, so it's nice and easy to chop up. But there's a really cool percussion part. So there are a percussion player playing on this live recording, and he's just playing the bongo. So we're gonna chop that up and put it on the push to using Ableton, using the simpler. Yeah, we're gonna try and make a groove from those percussion elements, and then track our own percussion elements over the top, and then program some drums in, and hopefully we get a nice loop. And then we're going to take the sample away, we're going to be left with our loop, and then we're going to add different stuff and see what you can do with it. Cool, so we're going to start with sampling a little bit of Donny Hathaway. So let's record in a little bit of this sample.
What you gonna do when you grow up and have to face responsibility? Will you spend your days and nights in a pool room? Will you sell cats?
Cool. So we've got that sample to work with. So I'm going to use a Ableton Simpler and drag that in. And then I'm going to go over to the push, and I'm going to change it to slicing mode. And I'm going to chop it up myself. So, okay, let's get a better colour than that, because then I'll just start. I'll find the start point. What I'm doing there, basically, I'm just trying to get on where them chord changes are. I just want to make a cut as close to that as possible. So I just played it, but then I can go in and sort of get a bit more surgical with it. So now I'll put on a click, and because really we're thinking about the drum, so the bongos that you can hear, we're going to make a loop like a 4-bar loop. And then we want the percussion parts to be grooving nice, so that then we can add on top of it then. So let's put a click on and see where we are. So some of them are good, but I think like this one just starts a little bit late. So we want that first bongo hit, boom. We want that one to hit on the second beat. 1, 2. So that's where that first bongo is. Yeah, let's try and record one in. Let's have a listen to that back in a loop and see if it's got a groove to it. Nice. That sounds good to me. I like hearing those elements that are not always like fully quantized on the grid sort of thing, and we're going to get that from this sample. That's why we're using it, because you get a, you know, it's a more human feel to it. So we're going to add some of his own percussion. So I'm going to add some shaker to it to start with. So I've got a few different types of shakers. I'll play along with this. Cool. So I just played a little bit of percussion for Donny Hathaway. So this is exciting stuff. Cool. So we got that shaker. So we'll call that shaker 1. And it's good to give yourself options, you know. And if you've got a few different types of shakers, just try them. And you can always save them and then keep them for other things as well. So shaker 2. I like that one. That's got kind of an organic sound to it. And the third one, do we need 3 shakers? Yeah, we do. Because why not? Just try it. It'll be fine. It'll work. And if it don't, delete it and try something else. Third and last shaker, I promise. That were cool. So we've got 3 shakers. They sound good together, so let's group those together just to keep things neat and tidy. We'll listen to them with the sample. Yeah, so bring everything up. We don't need the heavier one as much, I don't think. That sounds nice to me. We can maybe get a nice reverb and sort of try and let it settle in with the rest of the stuff a bit more. Reverb. Obviously now we've grouped them, we've got a shaker group here, we can send all 3 shakers to the reverb together. So then we could go some claps. Let's do a load of claps. What am I doing? Okay, claps. Here we go. It's happening. So then what we're going to do is listen through to which ones are good and layer them up, basically, hopefully. Cool. So let's group these together. Claps. Claps. Let's send that to reverb as well. Maybe put a little bit of delay in it. Might want to EQ these a little bit. Okay, so now we've got, they're sounding a bit cleaner. That's nice. There'll be a little bit less of that delay. I like the delay. So I'm hoping with these, I mean, if they were all dead on, dead quantized, then it'd probably sound weird. But I'm hoping that if we have one that is dead on, then all the others will kind of flam, those be before them and be a little bit after, and then we'll have some sort of kind of solid. So we're always a little bit behind beat, but you know, we'll make it work. So next thing, what I like to do is, which won't make much sense when I first do it, but it'll make sense after. So I've got some bells that I got from a music shop that I like to use. And so this element doesn't have to have any rhythm, because what we're going to do later is a pretty cool little trick of making this a sample and then chopping that up and layering it with our drums, which I'll show you how I do that. I'll show you how I do that. And that's enough of that. That's going to be a little bit of extra spice. And then we're going to add some drum samples. And I've got some samples that I actually recorded at Spirit Studios from a session I did there, playing drums. And well, we're going to make that available for you guys to use. And I think we'll probably put a link in the bio or something like that. Or you can email in and ask for it and they'll give you it. But yeah, it's basically like a 60s Ludwig, you know, good microphones going through a Neve desk. And yeah, they're my sounds that I'm giving to you, so you can use them anywhere you want. We're going to load up a drum rack, Haigh drums, hi-hats. I like to have variation in hi-hats, different dynamics. And when I recorded these, we made sure we did like a couple of open hi-hats, a couple of like different velocities. Cool. I'll just have a little mess around and make sure the sample's starting exactly when I hit it. So you see this one, that's a little bit after, so we just want to nudge that up. Same with these ones really. You really want as much dynamics as possible when you're programming hi-hats. Let's have a little play and see what it sounds like. I'll play that in. So I think the first half of that will probably be better than the second half. And I just want to have a little move around with these and make it feel nice. Cool. So now I'm going to add another drum rack just to keep me drums and my cymbals separate. And I've got some nice drum sounds that I like to use. That's another tip as well, is like spend some time finding some good reliable sounds that you know are good quality. So that way, you know, every time you open a session, you're not like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to Splice and find some sound. You can just get creating quickly. You know, you can always change your sounds afterwards, and I do that a lot. You just get, you know, something that sounds good. And I like to have variations in kicks as well, because like when I play drums, if I hear back a recording, you know, there's always going to be lots of different tiny velocity changes. You know, that's what's going to give it that human element, if that's what we're going to go for. So So if we were to go on grid, let's just see how that would sound. Boom, boom. Nice. So now I want to move the kicks and snares so that they're like they've got movement to them as well, and they feel natural. So maybe that could, I think that too a bit later. Nice. Maybe a little bit less velocity on that. I'll set the gain down. You know, so it's got that lazy feel. So as you can see, the grids. Nice. So we've got a groove that goes along with a sample now. You know, it's not perfectly with it, but sounding pretty good to me. Let me show you what I meant with these. Now we've got a kick and a snare midied. Let's bring in another simpler. You guessed it. We're gonna drag in. Where are the bells? Did we even record the bells? Oh yeah, there they are. So now we can slice that. Sometimes just leave it as it is, but on that channel, we're gonna drag the MIDI from there and put it in there. Hoo-wee! And then you can mess around with sensitivity. So that's a good trick, you know, and you can do that with different things as well, like record your phone in a shopping centre or something when there is shopping centres open, whatever. Pouring water out of a glass, you know, make people look at you like, what are you doing? Cool, so now we've got a drum loop that we've made from sort of playing with a classic record, and now we can take that record away and use this however we want, really. We could even now look for some other samples. Let's see, we could bring in a bass. We could bring in a bass. Here we go. You could put a little traffic noise on it. That sounds cool. I always like using arcade for, you know, just getting quick ideas down and stuff. Let's try this. there's a beat. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Yeah, this has been fun. Thanks Spirit for having me. Nice one.